Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am bringing you a process video and I'm going to be using a paper pad here from the works. This is called Moments. I'm on a bit of a mission to try and use my paper pads a little bit more. So I've taken or decided to do, I want to say a mini series, but it's not all going to be on YouTube, but I've been putting photos on Instagram as well, but I'm trying to do at least 4 layouts using the same pad, so this £3 pad from the works, and I'm going to try and get each layout as different as possible. I'm kind of semi getting there. I've done 3 so far, which is why I think I'm actually going to try and do a few more. I've got a couple more ideas in my mind, but I'm wanting to keep them fairly different. Now, this paper pad is a great one because it's quite versatile. It's got fine prints, more detailed prints, and it's got kind of elements that you can fussy cut, which I think is always good in a paper pad. It's got quite a range of colours as well. It's got sort of red, a kind of peachy tone, a teal, a dark blue, black and white, greys, and yellows as well. So I think with that kind of combination of colours, then should be able to get a bit of versatility across the layouts. So I started off just with pure laziness, couldn't be bothered to get out my paper trimmer, and I got a ruler and I just ripped off some of the patterns of paper that I really liked. So I started with this pretty teal check or aqua kind of check, maybe it's more mint, yeah, I don't know. And then I've got this little XOXO paper, and again I'm going to turn it into a similar shape to this green one with the little kind of pennant ends. I'm just folding the paper in half to find the midpoint, and then I fold in half again to make sure the ends are identical height. And I'm roughing up the edges, which again I don't actually normally or very often do. But I figured as I'd kind of ripped them anyway, then that's just the way this layout was going. And I was trying to think about what to do, and this was a bit of an accident layout, and I decided on this cross shape. And I really like, I think when you're kind of arranging layouts, 3s and 3rds is a good way to go. So in this cross shape here that I'm making, I've put it toward the first third of the 12 by 12 sheet, just because I think that looks nice. I think 3s and 3rds are good for the eye for some reason. I have no idea why. And then I'm using a little square of a navy blue paper with scripty font on, which I really like that paper a lot actually. And then I had a little square of this white Dalmatian-y sort of print, so it's not quite polka dot, but the sort of polka dots are a bit misshapen. Then I decided to do some fussy cutting from this beautiful kind of floral paper that came in the pad as well, and I just start off by kind of going through and picking out the flowers that I want to fussy cut and just piling them up here. So I skipped ahead through bits of this. And then just to fussy cut out the images, I use a smaller pair of scissors, and I just rotate the paper as I'm cutting. That's the easiest way, I think. It gets a bit fiddly when I get onto these tiny little ones, but I did just kind of skip ahead and just show you a couple of them being fussy cut. I personally really enjoy doing fussy cutting. I can't stand backing cut files. That enrages me. I do it sometimes, but I don't enjoy it. But I really enjoy fussy cutting, and I did actually take the rest of that sheet of paper out into the garden and I just cut all the flowers out of it while it was really hot and sunny. I was just sitting there sort of sunbathing, cutting flowers out, like what my neighbours must think I'm a total weirdo. But and I've got my flowers down. I've got 3 little clusters, 2 around the photo and then 1 a little bit toward the end of that cross shape, and I'm just gluing everything down. Again, I didn't show every part of this. I've started with the little flowers, the tiny little yellow flowers that I cut out, and then I'm going to place the rest of the paper down with some double-sided sticky tape. I decided to start with the little yellow flowers because that gave me a good indication of where I was going to put the rest of the layout as I was sticking it down. And I did just skip ahead here, but I'm just adding some foam tape to the ends of the pennants just so that I can give it a little bit of lift and a little bit of texture, and the rest of it's just going to be stuck flat to the layout. So I'm just peeling off all of this tape. I've started actually putting a little plastic tub on the desk, which I didn't really do before, and it turned into an absolute nightmare. I don't know why I've not done that sooner, but it's definitely a good move because tidying as you go is a lot easier when you have a little tub in front of you that you can stick your rubbish in. And then I'm just kind of ruffling the edges a little bit. I'm sticking down the photo. Again, I've backed that on a little bit of foam tape just to lift it off the page. And when I've stuck that down, I'm going to stick all my flowers down. Most of them I stick flat with little dobs of kind of PVA glue that you're going to see me use here. And then the odd flower is lifted up with a little drop, a little bit of foam tape as well. So not making it too chunky. I try to be aware of that, but at the same time I just really like a textured layout, so I have to just accept that I'm going to have big fat chunky albums. So that last flower going down there, if I can get it in exactly the right position. That seemed pathetic, didn't it? And then I just decided to use my pen and I'm adding some little scribbled stars. I really like tiny embellishments. I think I have mentioned this before. I find large clusters really difficult. That's still something I think that I need to learn. I can't really do that very well. But I'm adding the little scribbly stars, and then I'm going to add a squiggly border. So I felt like it needed a bit more. I decided not to add any kind of ink splatters or anything like that, and I think because of that there was too much white space for me. So I'm just adding a doodly kind of border around the edge. I really like white space on other people's layouts, but this doesn't sit that well with me. So I just needed something to kind of break the layout up a little bit. And then I am going to add a few more embellishments. I start here with a title, and I'm using a Clearly Kelly stamp set, and they're like hollow outlined letters. And I'm just stamping "It's Just Me," I think is what I stamped, because this was just a selfie. Obviously being in lockdown or whatever we're in now, I don't really know what we're in now. It's there's not tons of exciting family photos happening. Just the odd selfie, photos of the cats, so many photos of the cats, and photos of food. Actually, a worrying amount of food is being made and consumed, so there's a lot of photos of that too. But yeah, I just happen to have a selfie. I don't know why I took it even, but it's nice to document them occasionally, I think. So I just stamped it on some white card and decided to use that kind of as my title. I don't know why I didn't want to use any thickers. I kind of wanted a little bit of back to basics kind of approach, and just using some of my kind of tools and equipment a little bit more. So the words or the letters themselves, I would say, for a title are quite small, which is why I thought that stamping them on the white card and then using the white card almost as it appears like a slightly bigger title than it actually is, and it makes it stand out a little bit more. And then I decided to kind of wonk these. I like wonky stuff. I think it looks cool. Don't like so many really straight lines. I've added a little bit of journaling to the bottom, and then I'm using this circle stamp, which again was in the Clearly Kelly stamp set that I used, and I'm just using some black ink. Again, couldn't really be bothered to get out any other colours, although other colours of ink may also have been nice, and I just decided to stamp those around, and I'm doing about 3 stamps per section, again because I just like the look of the threes in stamping too. And then I'm going to tear off a piece of this cute kind of pinky red, don't really know what colour to describe it as, paper, and I'm just going to cut out some really teeny tiny little stars. I think that this tiny little star punch might have come from Lidl randomly. Yep, in the UK, get your scrapbooking stuff from all over the shop. But yeah, it came in a little set, and I think there was like a bow, a star, a heart. There were a couple of others. I can't remember what the other shapes were. I think there's 2 more shapes. But anyway, I'm just spreading those out across this little layout and then sticking them down with some PVA glue. And so that is the end of this layout. I hope you enjoyed the video. I have another layout using the same paper pad coming soon, and then I'll probably show you at the end of that all of the layouts I created with that single paper pad. So thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.